what's been driving me and probably a lot of you absolutely crazy for a long time now? It's the look. You know the look that I'm talking about. And I'll tell you, it's 10 times worse this time of year because it's the holiday shopping season. More people are out in the stores buying gifts for the people they care about. So what is it exactly that I'm talking about? It's like this. You walk into a coffee shop or a place that serves hot dogs, not even a sit-down restaurant, just a counter, a hot dog, maybe a soda. You order, it takes about 10 seconds. You pull out your card, ready to pay the $14 is somehow it costs now, and then the entire vibe changes. Then the person that gave you the hot dog or the coffee that you ordered gives you that little look. Yep, the cashier goes quiet, they stop making eye contact with you, and then they do that little swivel. Yeah, they spin that little white iPad around towards you, and every single time they say the same exact thing. It's like it's written into the software. It's just gonna ask you a couple questions. Questions? You said questions like it's plural. They're not asking questions, it's asking a question. You can feel the annoyance in the line growing behind you. You're hearing people sighing because you're taking too long. But that's when you glance down at that little iPad and notice your options. 20%, 25%, or 30%. And then buried at the very bottom in the smallest font imaginable, sometimes hidden behind a custom amount button, is the no tip option. But for the past few years, I have been hitting the buttons that read 20, 25, and 30%. We panic, we get a guilt trip. You see, the whole thing is very uncomfortable. I don't really want to give this person the tip because I don't think they deserve the tip. They didn't really do anything for the tip. But because the moment is so uncomfortable, we just tip and try to get the hell out of there. And we've all read the stories and heard the same thing from friends and family talking about how tipping has gotten completely out of control. However, in 2025, things seem to be a-changing. There was a report recently, Fox Business talked about this, showing that the so-called guilt tipping is down almost 40% in 2025. 40%. That's not a slowdown, that's a rejection. That's millions of people collectively saying, yeah, I'm done with this. And it's not because people suddenly became cheap, it's because people are exhausted. Eggs cost an absolute fortune. Gas, it kills me every time I have to fill up the tank. Rent or housing, very expensive. Everything costs more and wages never seem to catch up. So when a screen asks you for an extra $2 just for handling a hot dog across the counter, it doesn't feel like they're just asking me to be generous anymore. It feels like they're exploiting me. And it feels fucking irritating. Now hold on, before the comment section explodes on me, let me be very clear. I'm a very, very large tipper. Anytime I go to a sit-down restaurant or anywhere else that tips are expected, I do my part, believe me. If I get good service somewhere, I'm hooking you up. So yeah, there are times when tipping absolutely makes sense. You sit down in a restaurant, someone waits on you for an hour, they take your order, refill your drinks, check on you, clean up after you, you tip them, and you should tip them well. But that's always been the deal. That's always how it has worked. You order a pizza, somebody makes it, then drives it to your house, especially in this crappy weather that we're experiencing right now. I'm going to hook you up. I've had drivers actually say that they thought the tip was a mistake, but it wasn't because I appreciate you. It's the same thing when I go to my barber, which I have not been to in a while. Or when my wife goes to her hair salon, somebody spends real time making you look presentable, you tip. Those are the type of situations where other people provide a real personal service to you. And that's what tipping was supposed to be. But what people are starting to push back on now is everything else. The counter service, the kiosks, the self-checkout screens. And here's something most people don't realize, and this part matters. Owners and managers, they can't just pocket somebody else's tips. The tips are supposed to go to the employees, which I intended it in the first place. But when you tip on a card or an iPad, there's almost always a processing fee, usually 2 to 4%. And in many states, that fee can legally be taken out of the tip before the employees ever see it. So even when you tip, the worker might not get the full amount. On top of that, a lot of places pool tips. That means that the money gets split across the shift. So even if you think that your waitress is a great waitress and the other one wasn't, that one that wasn't might be getting part of your tip. Does that make sense to you? So long story short, instead of putting a $20 bill down on your table after you're done eating, people are using these credit card tip things. And even though you think that all of that tip is going to the waiter or the waitress, it's really not. And even though the restaurant and the owners of that restaurant aren't technically stealing tips, they are definitely making out on this transaction. Yes, there is a benefit for the company. And now these tipping screens, they make the employees feel that, hey, they're getting a little extra money on the tips. So it reduces the pressure on them to raise the wages. They just shift the responsibility onto us. And unfortunately, it helps normalize lower base pay. And just like we talked about during our Roundup charity video, I'll put that video at the end of this one, this is the most important part. these companies rely on our discomfort. They hide the no tip button, they make you click extra steps to find zero. They know the longer you hesitate, the more awkward it feels. They're banking on you thinking people are watching. I'll just hit the 20% so it goes away. And for a long time, that worked. People were irritated, they're fed up. And this isn't just a vibe. Surveys show most Americans think that tipping is expected in way more places than it used to be, and a lot of them think that it's gotten way out of control. There's even a name for it now. It's called tipflation. The gratuity requests expand not because the service has changed, but because the software has made it a lot easier for them to ask. And the most insulting version of all of this craziness is the self-service tip. You order, you pick it up, you do all the work, and the screen still asks if you want to tip. This is not appreciation, that's automation with a guilt button. Now, I do want to state one thing before it's brought up in the comment section. No, this is absolutely not about blaming the person that is behind the counter. If you're a person that's making minimum wage and the screen that you're holding asks the person that you're serving for tips, of course you want people to hit yes. You're just trying to survive. The villain isn't the employee, it's the business model. It's the business model that looks at the customer and says, you know what, we're not paying our employees enough, but you're gonna fix it for us, right? Now. And just like we talked about in that charity video that we did a couple weeks ago, it's the emotional blackmail. And the saddest part is how it pits us against each other. You feel guilty, the employee feels awkward, and the people at the top, well, they never even enter the conversation. So what happens next? Honestly, I think we're watching a correction. People are opting out of these tippings and the rounding up when it comes to the charities. I have started carrying more cash again and I forgot how good it feels. You pay, you get change, no swivel, no silence, no pressure. If I want to give somebody a tip, I hand them the cash. It's just a transaction. And for anybody that is using a card to pay and sometimes feel guilty for not tipping on something that you shouldn't be tipping for, my advice is very simple. Stop feeling guilty. That guilt is manufactured and it's a tactic. Once you see it as a tactic, it stops working. And you're not the bad person for pressing no on the tip. It's a hot dog order. You're just buying a hot dog. Tip where it makes sense. Be generous when someone earns it, but don't let a screen decide your morals for you. But I want to know where you stand on this. What's the most ridiculous place you've been asked to tip? And who do you always tip, no matter what? Let me know in the comment section. Love hearing that sweet, sweet feedback. And if you're tired of the corporate squeeze too, hit the like button. Really appreciate it. It helps the channel out. And if you want to see that charity video I was talking about, check out this one right here. I think you're going to like it as well. Back with more videos soon.